Hi, and welcome to the Scott Islands Biosecurity video. This is a video to help you do your part to follow the guidelines laid out in the Biosecurity Plan for the Scott Islands Archipelago. Lying far out in the cool and nutrient-rich Pacific Ocean off the northern tip of Vancouver Island, the 5 Scott Islands are home to the largest number of breeding seabirds in Western Canada. These islands and their surrounding marine waters are one of the most diverse marine ecosystems on Canada's Pacific coast. The Scott Islands Marine National Wildlife Area was established to conserve the marine environment around the Scott Islands, while the province of British Columbia protects the island habitat as the Anne Valley or Triangle Island, Sartine Island, Beresford Island Ecological Reserves, and Lands and Cox Provincial Park. The Scott Islands area provides breeding and nesting habitat for 40% of BC's seabirds, including 90% of Canada's tufted puffins, 95% of Pacific Canada's common murre, 50% of the world's Cassin's auklets, and 7% of the world's rhinoceros auklet. The Scott Islands are identified as an important bird and biodiversity area, or IBA, by BirdLife International, recognizing the essential habitat they provide to Canada's bird populations, as well as the importance of the area to the conservation of bird species worldwide. The province of British Columbia has closed the ecological reserves to the public to protect the breeding birds and their nesting habitat. But scientific research for the purposes of seabird conservation is allowed through permit. The area is a seabird research hub. Information from this area provides a basis for much of the scientific knowledge about seabirds and their conservation on the Pacific coast. If invasive alien species get to Triangle Island, there is a very good chance that native species could suffer population-level impacts and go into decline. The isolated islands provide protection from land-based predators, making them an ideal place for seabirds to breed. Due to introduction by humans, invasive alien species have decimated many once thriving seabird colonies on offshore islands throughout the world. The worst culprits among these invasive alien species are small mammals such as rodents, particularly rats, which feed on the eggs, chicks, and adult seabirds. The only way rats and mice can get to the Scott Islands is via human transport. If they get there, someone must have let them. To eliminate the opportunity for invasive alien species to reach the Scott Islands, you must follow the steps in this video before landing on any of the islands. First, obtain a Scott Islands Marine National Wildlife Area Biosecurity Checklist. This checklist includes all of the steps to follow prior to leaving your point of departure, whether that is the heliport or dock. To start with, in an uncluttered, sealed, and well-lit room with no sign of rodents, lay out onto the floor individually all of your gear and packs that you will be taking onto the island. We'll start with your packs and bags. 1. Open and empty all of the pockets and main sections of any packs and bags and shake them out onto the floor away from your gear. Turn any packs and bags inside out to closely inspect the inside of the bag. 2. Repack the bags carefully, closing all buckles and zippers tightly so that no gaps remain that rodents could squeeze through. Equipment boxes and bags. 1. Tote bins must each be emptied and repacked, taking care not to allow rodents to remain in loose bags or material. 2. Pack all food items into sealed, locking, hard-sided containers, being cautious not to leave bags of food items lying around. 3. When repacked, seal the bins and hard boxes with zip ties or duct tape to ensure that the lids stay on and rodents cannot sneak in. Bedding. Check all sheets, pillows, and sleeping bags carefully for rodents. Repeat by turning them inside out. Kayaks and boats. 1. If you are taking a small vessel onto one of the Scott Islands, carefully inspect the hold to make sure no animals are inside before departing. 2. Check for rodent signs, such as droppings or chew marks. 3. Additionally, it's a good idea to keep a couple of baited snap traps on board at all times. When you arrive in the Scott Islands, make sure to open and unpack everything inside the research station if possible, with the doors closed to ensure nothing got into your gear en route. Thank you for paying close attention and for keeping BC's island ecosystems safe.